slightly past the halfway point, around day 17, is the tipping point where potentially things can fall off track. What things? Have you noticed a decline in your enthusiasm to draw every day? Maybe your artwork looks inconsistent from prompt to prompt. Some of you might even be abandoning Inktober to try again next year. Today I share practical process tips to keep momentum and our artwork looking consistent to the end. Never heard of Inktober? It's a pen and ink daily art challenge with huge engagement from artists worldwide, designed to encourage personal growth. If you're interested in knowing more, watch this video on how to prepare for a strong finish. Today's video is sponsored by Skillshare, and more on that later. In an Instagram poll I asked, for Inktober, how much time will you spend per drawing? There was a wide range of answers. This poll also spurred discussion around how to keep the same level of effort into each piece, as well how it's possible for some artists to produce really outstanding art within a day, every day. I'll address the second point first. Epic looking illustrations submitted as a daily piece for this challenge. The intent for sharing with the Inktober online community is that it's a way to receive feedback, support, and discover new talent. For me, it's a form of accountability. I'm more likely to honor a commitment when I declare my intention publicly. Showing my work is concrete proof that I showed up every day and did what I said I would. Sharing isn't just about putting myself out there, it's also a chance to appreciate the hard work of others. Ideally, the sharing part of an art challenge is an uplifting experience. If I start judging my own skills against someone else's because I rate their daily prompt as 100 times more awesome than mine, I quickly reframe that thought. I reframe by focusing on the facts. The facts are, even though we're all working on the same challenge, our journey, circumstances, and goals are usually different. I can appreciate awesome art for what it is, gain motivation from it, and move on to the things I can affect, such as my vision, my goals. Am I on track or falling short of what I wanted to accomplish by doing this challenge? Which brings me to the other discussion points that were brought up. How to keep the same level of effort into each of our creations from days 01 to 31. How's it going? Did you set objectives? Are you on track? If the answer is no, according to Dr. William Glasner's choice theory, you have two options. You can change what you want or change what you're doing. If it looks like we're not going to hit the target, midpoint is as good a time as any to adjust our desired outcomes or the course of action. Desired outcomes, how you imagine your art would look like, and course of action, what you're doing to create that art. Let's say you imagine that each day you would create amazing pieces, art that you're proud of. So we want amazing outcomes, but we have an external limitation: time. The target is to produce a piece of art that satisfies our expectations within 24 hours. Going back to Dr. Glasner's advice, if we're not satisfied, meaning there's a mismatch between our aspirations versus reality, we can either adjust our standards, what we want our art to look like, or the output, what we're doing to create that art. Here are simplified examples to further reflect on those points. If we change what we want, let's say our standard is an epic masterpiece. To change what we're doing, we might need to opt for less prompts on fewer days, or prioritize the challenge as a top commitment for the month. If aiming for balanced artwork, meaning you give it your best within the external limitations, then it's wise to follow a plan, be organized, and prepare in advance. That's kind of where I sit. If you're aiming for a fun sketch, a study, then this grants more flexibility, meaning you can wing it. However, as insurance to maintain consistent habits, consider having enticing objectives, such as using the daily challenge to refine a skill, explore a style, or discover new favorite artists. What is my process for creating balanced artwork 31 consecutive days? Before we get into that, if you're wanting to discover more on refining a technique or a skill, then I want to quickly share how today's sponsor can help with that, which is Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with lots of classes on a wide variety of topics for creative people like us. You can search by categories such as illustration, fine art, but did you know that there are also classes on how to build your art income and social media for creatives and more? For example, I found browsing in the freelance and entrepreneurship category that I really want to take this popular class, How to Successfully Publish a Picture Book on Kickstarter. Mariana walks us through each step for launching a campaign using the crowdfunding platform Kickstarter. There's classes to take you from beginner to pro alongside a supportive community. And you can watch these today, even if you're new to Skillshare. The first 500 people to use my link will get access to one of Skillshare's best offers, 30 days free and 40% off your first year of Skillshare membership. I'm really excited for my free trial and explore with unlimited access thousands of inspiring classes from real working creators. Thank you so much, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video. And now let's get back to our challenge. In the previous Inktober video, I explained how I batch my process. In a nutshell, I sketch 7 thumbnails, then funnel those to the next stages like an assembly line. I publish daily, but execute the bulk of the prompts in clusters of time throughout the week. Per prompt, the timing is chunked out like this: 15 minutes of research, 15 minutes of thumbnail, 45 minutes to pencil the outline, 50 minutes for the ink application, and 25 minutes for making videos and posts to share with the online community. So it's 2.5 hours total per prompt. Like the majority of people, I aim to fit the challenge within life's other responsibility. Without organization, I would feel rushed. By having a workflow, 100% of my attention is on task while I'm working on it. At that moment, I'm in my creative zone. Otherwise, I might get impatient for the piece to be done, become careless. That's when mistakes happen. Like here, I erased the pencil too soon and I'm missing part of the wing. For more about my preparation phase and additional resources on that topic, you'll find links in the description below. If you've been following my work online so far, you know of my Raven theme, for which I have gathered photo references in a folder. When I know what I'm looking for, I search with Google for image references. If I'm looking for ideas, Pinterest has such a sophisticated search engine. You can literally type in the prompt and you'll not only get reference images, but also ideas for concepts. Another website I like for this is Pixabay, plus a lot of those images are royalty free. Once the references are gathered, I sketch a thumbnail to determine the composition and proportions. Sometimes the reference doesn't work for me. For example, the golden prompt. First I searched for treasure trunks filled with gold, but when I typed in gold, it showed golden retrievers. Then I saw this incredible golden fleece jewel and got fired up to draw that. Because I'm not drawing from imagination and the subject is reference, I don't need to use a lot of construction lines to build the elements. I sketch light contour lines and consider that stage done. Then it's ready for the ink application. I tend to start inking the forefront of the picture plane and use thicker lines for the elements that are closest to the viewer and vary the line weight to create volume and atmospheric perspective. My approach for a consistent look throughout, as mentioned, is to spend an equal amount of time per piece. I keep to 1 raven and 1 prompt in the composition. I concentrate the details on the raven. I use minimal backgrounds with a border to establish the scene. I use the same line angle for the cast shadows and a similar range of values from white to black without excessive solids or textures. I have a tendency to over-render my illustrations, therefore for personal growth, I aim to achieve an economy of lines. Economy of lines is another topic of study for a future video. So that's the summary of my process to keep momentum and my artwork looking fairly consistent through to the end. I hope you found this helpful. Let me know in the comments how your daily challenge is going so far, and if you had never heard of Inktober before, whether this sparks your imagination to give it a try. Thanks so much for watching, and to Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and I'll see you in the next one.